forward and all of your glory so that we can share. So let's do it again. So good morning, everybody. How you doing? Yay! Newlyweds still peeking through the back door. Oh my gosh. So my name is Diana Schwartz. I'm the Executive Director for the River District Association here in downtown Danville, Virginia. Appreciate everybody joining us, whether it be live or virtual. As a reminder, we are on film right there, that little camera, that little dot on the wall. And you can see people who are joining us from other areas here virtually as well. Just as a reminder, this is videotape, this is filmed, and so we actually share the copy online. So if you don't want people to be able to see it for perpetuity, you probably don't want to say it out loud and while we're running. But I'll always have conversation offline if we need to. That said, we're kicking it off by going round robin and having everybody introduce themselves. We have a smaller group with us today, but that's okay. Again, typically a lot of people will watch it in retrospect. And I do want to say, if you have ideas for what you'd like to see in future mornings on May, just let us know and we will try to bring those folks in. We do work very closely with the city, so we'll have city department heads come and join us, such as Kelvin's here to talk about an economic development update when we get to that part of the agenda. But if there's a specific subject matter that you would like us to cover, let us know, and we will certainly make arrangements to have people come in and join us to talk about anything you would like. So with that, let's go ahead and do some introductions. And part of the reason that we do this is not only to connect better our city officials and our community leaders with our downtown merchants, but our downtown merchants with one another, because we realize how hard it is to run a business. And we want to ensure that you have as much support as possible, not only through things like the city and RDA, but from one another. So with that, Lauren, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start online. It's a little easier. Lauren, if you tell us who you are and who you're with, and if you have any specials or any announcements, I know you're offering some new services. Go ahead and share those too.
Hey, y'all. This is Lauren at Blush and Glow Spa. Good to see you all. I think I know at least half of the room there. Yeah, we do have some new things. We changed our name from Blush and Bashful to Blush and Glow in the last 6 months, I guess. And we just added massage therapy this past week. We'll be adding yoga probably early June. So that's exciting. Yeah, a lot of new things.
Nice. Thank you for being with us, Lauren. And then let's see, we changed up our view. So there we go. That's all right. Kelvin, we're going to come back to Kelvin, but go ahead and introduce yourself, Kelvin.
Kelvin Perry. I'm project manager for the city of Danville, but also serve as chair of the board for the River District Association.
And we are awful glad. We are glad about that. All right, Joy, I know that you are just getting on. You don't have to come on camera if you don't want to, though you're welcome to, but we're doing round robin introductions. So if you just tell us who you are and who you're with and any announcements. And if you're not ready, I can come back to you. Kirsten, the same thing for you. I don't know if I see your name, but I don't know if you're ready to talk. And then whoever is joining us on the iPhone. Because there's no name or number attached. Or you can just be a mysterious nosy person. We're okay with that too. we're pretty loose around here.
Hello?
Oh, hey. Oh, who is it? You know? Oh, there we go. Internet issues.
I don't
No
know.
worries.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, how you doing? This is my first time on a Zoom. I really apologize. My name is Devin Kane. I'm introducing myself. This is my first time attending one of you guys. Hello?
Yeah, we're breaking up a little bit.
But it's Devon Kane. He emailed me this morning. So
I have a business, everything but the kitchen sink, a food truck in Danville. And I'm just was just following the resource that you guys have. That's all.
Yay! Glad you're here. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. So now you'll get to know who some of our merchants are here, so you'll have additional connections in the community, which is so important. Joy, it looks like I know it looked like you were having issues. If you're back, you want to introduce yourself, Joy?
Sure. My name is Joy Ford. I'm with Riverfront Real Estate on Bridge Street, and just glad to be a part of it.
Thank you, Joy. And she manages a lot of the properties, both residential and commercial, in the downtown area. So a lot of you are familiar with Joy when she worked with Wilkinson Company. So now she is working with, and tell me the name of it again, Joy. I'm putting you on the spot this morning. What is the name of your management company now?
So it's Riverfront Real Estate.
Thank you.
Working on getting our facade finished. So we just had our sign painted out front on the brick. So it's looking good.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. We appreciate it. So Peanut, let's go right ahead. Congratulations, by the way. Yay. Got married in the River District.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Peanut. Some people know me as George Purdue, but not many. I own Revitalization Station, natural health and wellness store. Also do a lot of energy work, and I'm a holistic health practitioner as well. And my wife, Jessica, owns Blue Moon Tattoo over on Bridge Street. And probably since we've been here last, she has become licensed in. There's 2 artists that are licensed in permanent makeup, licensed in Virginia. Went through a pretty extensive training to add that to their repertoire of tattoos. So, just something else to make available. And I have kind of transitioned out of traditional naturopathic consultations as much because the energy work with body code and motion code's been so busy. So I'm referring most of those people to either Tanya Hilliard, or I've got another practitioner that's also coming back into it soon. So.
Wow, congratulations to you. All the expansion is wonderful to hear. Lots of health and wellness opportunities in the district. We're seeing more and more businesses around health and wellness, beauty, of course, being part of wellness, depending on how you want to think of it. I think of it that way because when I look good, I feel better. So. This is just me. Next. Friend from Meats.
Yeah, Emily Tomlinson with Meats Burgers and Brews. We are wrapping up this month our burger contest. If you guys haven't come in, you can build a burger and name it after your favorite author.
Build a burger and name it after your favorite author. I love.
And then
that.
the winner will be featured on the July menu.
Here is your opportunity, your claim to fame, if you ever wanted to be known for your best worker
Chef skills.
That's right.
Yeah.
Chef it up over at Meats. So yeah, and that's best burger. When does the contest end on that?
It will end on the 31st.
On the 31st. A few more days. You got a few more days. All right, come right over here. I think this is our first introduction as well.
I'm Lorraine Holman. I'm president of the Berkeley Condo Association.
Very nice to meet you. I think you've been speaking with Kirsten. Somebody over there has been speaking with Kirsten.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, that's great. We're so glad you're here. And are you together? Are you so lucky to be with this lovely lady?
I am lucky.
All right.
And I came to hear about the chamber.
Okay, wonderful. Diana Schwartz, it's nice to meet you. And of course, we're going to come back to Ann, and Kirsten's going to give her a proper introduction. But in the meantime, Ann, feel free to introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Ann Horsbards, and I'm the new president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce.
We are so glad that you are here.
Your chamber.
Absolutely. Yes. All of our chamber. And I know that gets confusing for people, Main Street, the chamber. There are some things that we share, but the power of your chamber is essential to the success of your community, just like having a good Main Street. So we're very fortunate to understand how everybody works together and have a great collaboration. So happy to tell any of you friends watching from around the country how to make things like that happen. So Will, go ahead. I know you're going to talk about it.
Yeah, morning, everyone. My name is Will McCaman, Programs and Services Manager at River District Association.
Hey, good morning. My name is Alyssa Turner. I'm the office manager for the River District Association.
And then Kirsten, come right over here. Lady behind the camera.
I'm Kirsten, the communications and events manager for River District Association.
She whatever she wants to be. Let's not make any mistakes. We know you do. And then I know Kirsten, did she type something a little bit?
Yeah, so the other Kirsten who's on there said she was having some connection issues, but she is the taproom manager of Alabama.
Thank you for being here. We're so glad. And I see Philip Gardner. Philip, I don't know if you can unmute and join us and introduce yourself and who you're with, if you can. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I'm Philip Gardner, Director of Child Nutrition for Danville Public Schools.
So glad that you're here to join us, Philip. Thank you so much. And then Kirsten has a couple of notes from some other merchants and folks in the district as well.
I may, let's see. One of these I may bring up later, but our friends over at Head Up Ice Forward wanted me to let you all know, they weren't able to be here, but they will be opening Moss Mountain Outfitters down at 326 Main Street, right next to where Middle Border Forward used to be, where right next to the Main Street Art Collective. And they're gonna have all sorts of cool stuff. That will be opening July 1st. They will be having a new website coming, and then June 4th, they're having a sneak preview sidewalk sale. So put that on your calendar and go check them out.
Excellent,
Very exciting.
wonderful. Any other announcements or discussion points that our existing business community that's here or anyone online wants to talk about before we go into Mr. Perry's economic development updates? Nothing pressing, and you'll have time at the end. Just also a heads up, I'm actually have to leave a little bit early today, so Ann, unfortunately, I will not catch your presentation, but I know you and I have some catching it to do anyway. But the staff here will, as always, be more than adept at leading things moving forward. So I am going to leave any updates for RDA to my more than capable team. So Kelvin, if you would like to go ahead and launch into economic development updates that affect the River District, please do.
I don't have anything specific today, just to say to everyone, if there's anything you need or any questions you have, just please feel free to give our office a call, and we'll be glad to assist you in any way that we can.
Excellent, thank you. And I mean, anything that you're interested in, now's the time to ask Kelvin. If you've got any questions about any projects going on downtown or anything you want to get clarity on, whatever he can answer that's not required to stay confidential, I'm sure he'd be happy to help us out. So any questions for Kelvin about any projects or anything?
I just want to know if George saved some wedding cake.
Didn't save any. We went to a place that actually gives you a fresh one on your 1-year anniversary instead of eating a stale frozen one. So sorry, you should have been there, Kelvin.
My invitation lost in the mail. I was happy to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And if you're craving cake, don't forget, you can't have any of George's, but you can go to Ma's.
There you go. There you go.
I'll put a plug in there while I can. So with that, I'm going to allow Kirsten to take over the floor. I'm gonna get out everybody's hair. It was nice to see everybody. And she is going to officially introduce our speaker of the day, Amy.
Yeah, well, welcome. Thank you for being here. So as you know, Ann Sparks is the new president CEO of our Chamber of Commerce, and we are really excited that she is here. She's a native of Danville, George Washington, high school, she has a bachelor's in business administration from Averett, so that's great. She's worked a lot with community engagement, business partnerships for Danville Public Schools and the Public School Education Foundation. She's also worked for Gateway Health and the Office of Community Development and Economic Development. So she is very well versed in our community, and we are really lucky to have her. So welcome. I will pull up your presentation.
Thank you.
You're welcome to get started.
Thank you. Do you mind driving for me?
Sure.
I'm going to sit. Is that right?
Let me get it going for a second first.
Kayaking trip yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. After multiple spills, I'm just going to, play these.
Oops. Go back to the beginning.
That's fine. Thank you.
There we go.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. As Diana said, we are between the River District Association and the Chamber. We're true partners and collaborators in your success and your growth. And I'm just excited to be here today. You could go ahead, Kirsten, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to give you just a brief overview of the Chamber, but I wanted to leave more time at the end if you have any questions or any concerns, to feel free, and we'll broach that subject. But I started on April 4th, so I think this is 8 weeks in. And I have spent really the last 2 months, and this was in my 30, 60, 90-day plan. I had a goal of talking to 100 people in 100 days, really to give me some background and research about how people feel about the chamber, right? Good things, bad things, things we need to work on. And it's been very, very enlightening as I think about shaping what the chamber is going to look like over the next couple of years. So first of all, first and foremost, I have to get the staff in order. We've had a lot of turnover with the chamber. And really, if you go back to when, unfortunately, Lori passed away, we've had a lot of turnover. After Alexis accepted the wonderful position at the University of Virginia, 3 staff members also went on to bigger and brighter positions, leaving 1 full-time position. And Christy Harper, who many of you know, I'm so lucky to have her. She's been promoted to our Director of Member Engagement. So she's focused solely on member recruitment, retention, and engagement. Because what I found in my research for the chamber, as a new chamber member, if you do not renew your chamber membership, more than likely it's year 1 and year 2. And the reasoning behind that is because, and I think this applies to a lot of different things, we're good at getting you, right? But once we got you as a member, what does that engagement look like? How do we provide you value for your membership? So having Christy in that vital position of not only attracting you as a new member, but how do we engage you? How do we pair up what you're looking from your chamber, right? Is it networking? Is it educational opportunities? Is it legislative advocacy? What is it? Because people join the chamber for different reasons, right? And I think as small business owners or business owners in the district, one of the main things that we can provide are networking opportunities, which is, we have a membership base of almost 600 people. Christy and I do 60 events a year, all different types, and we'll go over that. But networking with 600 people in the business community is a great way to sell your product and just get to know people and network with decision makers in the region. One challenging thing we're trying to figure out is, how does a staff of 2 manage a footprint of 1,000 square miles, right? Danville, Chatham, Gretna, and Hurt. The majority of our members are in Danville and Chatham, but how do we engage people? Because I do know that our members in the northern part of the county feel underrepresented, and they are, right? And I think we do that doing a couple of different things, but first and foremost is outreach, just building relations. And I've spent a lot of time in Chatham and Gretna lately, just forming relationships, really. No agenda, just getting to know one another, talking about the chamber. So relationships, outreach, having more programs in Gretna and Chatham will certainly help. And then the next thing that we're working on is strategic planning. I'm a big believer in strategic planning, especially when a new leader comes on. What does the next 3 to 5 years look like for us? And that's based on what our members want to see from the chamber. So you'll probably see, we're going to start that work in August. So we're working with the RDA to make sure that you're included on any polls or any information coming out. We would certainly want to hear feedback from you. What do you want from your chamber? Like, Peanut, do you want networking opportunities? Do you want opportunities to sell your business? What is it that you're looking for in these two? So, okay. So having said that, the mission is we aim to accelerate business growth by providing you with dynamic resources and networks. And that's what we aim to do. And what that looks like, that might change, with the strategic plan, because it's going to be based on what you need and how you see that. I know it was a long way before. Sorry about that. And, I mentioned before that we host over 60 events a year, which is a lot, but they're a lot of fun because it stretches across a lot of different themes. But access to business, we have information and experts. You can see that we do business at breakfast, which is a great opportunity. That's an educational, it's a big topic item, like education. Economic summit, workforce summit we have coming up on Wednesday. If you haven't registered, you can go online to our website at dpchamber.org and register. And I want to thank Kelvin because the City of Danville Office of Economic Development is one of our event sponsors, along with Pittsylvania County and American National Bank. But as I'm going around to our businesses and our industries, I am seeing one theme in this economy, and this is changing economy, and that is the difficulty in recruiting and retaining quality employees, right? And that can be from large industry down to small businesses. You guys know better than I do, right? And it goes back to, yeah, we might be able to hire a great employee, right? But what do we do to keep them, right? What are some creative, out-of-the-box things that we can do to keep the best and brightest talent at Meads or at your company? Is it hourly wages? Is it incentives? Is it benefits? What is it? What does it look like? So we're really excited about that. We also have a manufacturing executives committee. We have networks, we have venues, businesses on tour. Would love to have you guys do one of those. That's where an invitation goes out to all 600 members. And we go to Meads, or we go to Revitalization Station, or we go to Blue Moon, and people just tour your businesses. You have an opportunity to sell your product. Leadership, we also have information and experts come in, networks. We also have professional development such as Leadership Southside, and then member-driven training opportunities is the second arm of what the chamber does. We have sector-based roundtables. That could be food and beverage, it could be industry, it could be manufacturing. K-12 engagement is really important. We view education as an economic development priority for our community, and I think we all know in the city we have some work to do. Partnerships, we're all about partnerships and collaboration. And I think this community does partnerships very, very well because you have a lot of different organizations doing like-minded work. So we're always stronger when we work together. I have a very diverse board, and the makeup is a cross-section of large employees, small employees, industry, retail, banking. And I think that's important to get an overview of where we are. Entrepreneurship is something that, one of the things that we proudly partner with the River District Association. You guys have Dream Launch, we have Rev Up, but our Rev Up participants do the Dream Launch Boot Camp. So that's a like-minded goal that we have, is to really focus on entrepreneurship in our community and internships. You know, when you look at K-12 education and making sure there's a pipeline of once you graduate high school, and then you could go to DCC, and then how do we keep you here engaged in our community by providing internships that would hopefully lead to full-time employment in our industries. Again, we partner with you on a host of things, legislative issues, job listings, data collection, and member engagement. And I encourage you to go on our website, because this is just a 50,000 foot level. The website really goes into a deeper dive for you. 5 reasons to join, and you can read these, but credibility, relationships, I think those of you who know me know that relationships is a big thing for me. I think if people like working with the chamber and trust the chamber and know that we have your interests at heart and we represent the needs of the businesses in our community, I think that relationships are the key to building that. Visibility, education, and government advocacy. Upcoming events, we have a ribbon cutting here, and we do ribbon cuttings for our new businesses located outside of the River District. And we do collaborate and attend many, and you attend ours, so that's a wonderful working relationship. Again, the Workforce Summit tomorrow, turning the great resignation into the great retention. We partner with a consultant out of Roanoke who has chamber experience and economic development experience. So she's going to talk about how creative you can be, and we're actually going to break out into work groups too and take on a case study. Lakeside Fitness ribbon cutting on June 4th. In the Know, June 14th, creating a strong regional talent pipeline. And then in June, also to be determined, Brightview, it's a mental health company coming, and we're having their ribbon cutting as well. And I know that was a very, very brief overview. But again, I want you to do your research. If you're not a member, I would love to have you as a member. I think everybody joins for different reasons, but the networking to the over 600 members, I think is key, especially for small businesses. I have some packets here. I'll be more than happy to talk with you one-on-one about your specific needs. You just give me a call. And one thing too, I do want to mention, we are revamping our YP program, Young Professionals, which was very, very successful. And we're going to revamp also our ambassadors program, and we will recruit people to help spread the message of the chamber. And that'll help us cover the 1,000 square miles that Christy and I are very limited to. So we have lots of committees if you're interested. I've aged out of Young Professionals. There's some around the table that probably still fit that bill. But if you're interested, please reach out and touch base. You've heard enough about me and chamber stuff. Does anybody have any questions?
So you kind of hit on the kind of high side of the networking. That's something I know we brought up here a few times. We used to do a little more with mixers and stuff. Mm-hmm. That to me, a lot of this was going on prior to COVID when I was starting my business, and it kind of helped me to connect a little bit with some of the other people who had small businesses in the area. We haven't done as much of it, you know, but it was a little more relaxed environment of just a meet and greet and who each other is. I don't necessarily fit everybody's mold of not so young professional. I don't always appear as what I am. So sometimes, you know, I might run into somebody else in business and they're like, they see me dressed like this. They're like, what? I'm not going to talk to that guy. But, you know, I actually love engaging with the other folks that own businesses. Most of my engagement is me going around spending my money, and me and my wife eat out a lot and go around and meet people and try and spend our money with small businesses what we can. But, you know, it used to be a lot of years and years ago. I know there were a lot of events, and I just think that's important.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, unfortunately, COVID took a lot of us out of that situation, but we just had our first face-to-face business after hours last month. So the chamber now is back face-to-face. You know, we do offer hybrid for those who still want to attend virtually, but we're a people organization, right? And we like to do business face-to-face. And we had about 100 people attend at Two Witches. And again, that invitation goes out to 600 members. And if anyone is interested in doing a business after hours, it's usually from 5:30 to 7. And we do all the legwork for you. And then people show up, and it's a perfect platform for you to market your business in a very, very informal setting where there's truly a lot of value in that. And so if you want to consider that, we'd love to do that for you. But yes, business after hours is great. And again, if you go on our website, you can see detailed all of the events that we do and what the goal is for that event. But by far, we have more networking opportunities than any other. But we are fully face-to-face now. Love to have it after hours at tattoo shop. So, and Jess can do my next tattoo for me as
I think we've got an occupancy of 6 in the building.
I know, I'm thinking 100.
I can apply, yeah,
I can't even do that.
I can apply for another block party permit.
Kelvin's here, and I'm sure he blocked it off for your wedding, which was wonderful, by the way. And I have to tell you, it was the most interesting, fun wedding I have ever attended. And I thank you for that.
Thank you.
You know, that's the thing is we're flexible. You've got all the stakeholders here, you know, in
That's
one
right.
room and virtually to make that happen. You've got a wonderful patio. So we're here to serve you. And I think that's the message that I want to send you, right? So, and I just thank you for this time. I really do. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Please.
First of all, I think it's awesome that what you mentioned about starting out with reaching out to people one-on-one and the goal of meeting with 100 people. I think that's a good example for a leader to set. So I think that's awesome you're doing that. And I was just curious with the people you've met so far, if you've noticed any themes that have come up that you've heard from multiple people, or just kind of been thinking about your strategy and direction.
Well, like I said, the theme is what led to the Workforce Summit. You know, when you really get down and dirty about what are the challenges or what are you seeing in this economy, everybody has challenges with employee engagement. Are you seeing that at meetings? And yeah, that's been, and the other theme I think is just because of the turnover. And I just think people are ready for some consistency with the chamber. And that's what we're trying to provide. And that will work itself out, you know, but I think people are just really ready for the chamber to lead and be a strong advocate for the business community. And not that it didn't before, but it's just, you know, leaders change and staff changes and hopefully we'll provide that consistency.
Thank you.
Philip Gardner, I know you have a question, or Kelvin.
No, I know you've just started, but in the chamber world, are there any hot topics other than what you've mentioned, that the chamber world being statewide or nationally, that they're really focused on that you can share with us at this time?
Sure. Well, you know, and I hate to keep beating this, but it is employee recruitment and it's also internships and entrepreneurships. And I think you saw that in the presentation, but I think that's so critical that we have partners like the RDA to help us in that work, right? And you guys are so grassroots, and that's exactly, I think, why our partnership really, really works well is how do we talk about the issues facing our community and work together to fix them. And, you know, that's a big deal and a big issue, but yeah, those three things, Kelvin, I think is things that we're seeing themes across the state and across the nation. Does that help? Did I answer your question? Okay. Philip Gardner, you've never been quiet a day in your life, so.
Well,
To your point, just real quick, and because Anna and I have a call Friday, we are seeing companies looking to expand and make investment in their companies. And so I don't think it's all doom and gloom, but certainly there are companies in our area looking to expand and grow. And she and I got a call this Friday with a local company that's looking to expand and grow.
Oh, it's a good point, Kelvin. Thank you.
just something else along that point of recruitment and engagement of employees. And I started seeing some trends when I was in large business, working for a Fortune 50 company. Just, it seems to be so much harder to get people who have a team spirit or have any, probably with COVID, that's probably even gotten worse. Because a lot of people who may have been involved in team sports or other group activities, whether it be scouting or something like that, they've now spent that much more time in the basement playing video games or self-absorbed stuff. So it's, you talk to them about a team motivational goal of, hey, we're going to stick around and get all this done before we leave or something. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm out of here. What am I getting? And the other struggle for a small business like myself, God blessed me with one person that if I didn't have her, the business wouldn't be open. That's just the truth of it. But when the other part of that is when other businesses are having to pay $17 an hour, $18 an hour to recruit, and you're trying to still make the person feel valued, but you just don't have resources to pay that kind of money. I mean, that's a very real struggle. I'm sure there's the other struggle is just getting people to come in the door to hire, for some of the business. I'm, at this point, what my outlook on it is, I would like to add another person at some point, but especially for what you have to pay, it's got to be somebody who's really bringing something to the table, not just somebody who's filling space,
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know if anybody's found things that have helped with that. I travel a lot and, I see some of the struggle being a little worse to me, just from areas I've traveled in, almost like we've had a little bit more, people just seem more beat down when you go out in businesses. It's like they're just struggling to come into work and feel like sometimes it's an inconvenience. I'll grab somebody that just frowns at me at a business, say, you look like you need a hug, come here. And they're like, oh my God, but
It's so peanut, right?
it's just a big struggle.
Yeah. Well, what do they say? People don't leave jobs, they quit their bosses. And I don't think you ever should underestimate the value of climate and culture in your business. And I know it's a struggle. And I think with the chamber and it's, more importantly, economic development to find programs and grants that can help support you is something that we should all strive to do. And I'm sure Kelvin can answer more to that question too, about any opportunities for the River District. But yeah, we're going to talk some more about that on Wednesday as well.
Before if it's all right, if I jump in, we have two people on who came in halfway, and then I see Philip really wants to. So maybe Austin and Sierra, can you quick introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Philip's question. Maybe start with Austin.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm late. Austin Bond, I'm the business manager at Ballard Brewing.
Great. And Sierra, you want to just quick say who you are?
Hey guys, I'm not feeling well today, so I'm actually at home, but I am listening in, and I didn't want to miss this. But I'm Sierra Petty, and I work at the Goodwill Career Center, as well as being part of the We Create group of artists in Danville.
Wonderful. Welcome. Nice to meet you both.
And yes, I do love to talk. You and I have had many conversations in our previous place of employment. But I will tell you this, Ann Moore Sparks is a blessing to this community. She has made a wonderful transition to a phenomenal position, and I think you're going to do a great job. And welcome to the chamber.
Thank you, Philip. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
I'll be collecting that payment later for saying these things, but
I'll get the check ready.
Does anyone else have a question or comments? All right, and then we can we'll move on to a couple updates from Will and I, and then we can open it up for any more. If you think of a question or a thought afterwards, either related to the chamber or just in general about River District, we can talk about that. So Will, do you want to go ahead and give your update?
Yeah, so I'll just give a few updates. Some of the programs that we run at RDA here. So we had about 2 weeks ago, we had our announcement for our Dream Launch program, which like Ann said, that's our entrepreneurship program, and we partner with the chamber pretty heavily on that. So essentially we have a boot camp 6 weeks in January, February, and then after entrepreneurs complete that boot camp, they can pitch for Rev Up to be in the city or the county, or for the Dream Launch pitch to be in the River District. So we had our announcement of the awardees 2 weeks ago, and I have to say this is my first year in the program, and it was probably one of the most inspiring things I've been a part of professionally. And we had some of the most funding that we've been able to provide too. So it was a really, really cool night. And we were able to award, I think it was over $140,000 altogether to 6 different businesses in the River District. So we have 3 new ones coming in. One is Ashlyn Tickle. She's with Bubble Aquatics and Exotics, so kind of reptile, snakes, pet store. They'll be coming to the River District.
Why do I think Peanut will really like
I'm really excited to hear that.
We'll be going there.
So that'll be a cool new business coming here. Let's see. Sebastian Steele and Brian Compton have a business called the Cosmetic Art Store, which is kind of wholesale, kind of retail, to distribute eco-friendly hair care products around the region and around the city. And then Carnisha Fuller with Temptations Gourmet will have a salad bar, which will actually be located right over there in this suite. So she's kind of working through some things with the health department, and then she'll be another new business. And all 3 of them receive grants around $25,000 for their business. And then expanding businesses will be Adam Jones with The Brick. So he'll be expanding to include a bike department at his running store, and he's down on Main Street. Marvin Ken Jones with Urban Fitness. He received a grant of $13,000. He'll be expanding his gym, adding some new equipment. And I don't think I mentioned Gabrielle Blair. They just opened recently. So they own the Bliss Hair and Nail Studio, which is right on Main Street. So they're another kind of eco-friendly hair salon, and they'll be adding nail services as well. So all of them received $25,000 grants, and Ken Jones was $13,000 was what she applied for. So yeah, six grants we're able to provide, and we're just excited to see these businesses open and expand and contribute to the River District. So. And then additionally, there were 2 others that didn't quite meet the Dream Launch criteria. So they're a part of our new grant program, which is called the Catalyst Grant Award. So that's Uncle Al's hot dog stands, which you may have visited. He received a grant of about $12,000, and then Movement Bank also gave him a grant of $2,500. So
that's great.
He'll be adding a new hot dog cart and ice cream cart to his repertoire. And the final one was Jada Jones, who is starting a tooth gem service. So with her business, she wasn't quite ready for a brick and mortar. So we'll be giving her a $5,000 Catalyst grant to kind of test her idea.
What was that business?
It's called Gems by Jada. So it's like a tooth gem service. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we think another really kind of interesting, cool business that has not really established a type of presence in the River District or the city. So we're excited to see her open it as well. So yeah, it was an exciting night, and those are kind of all of our grantees, and we'll be working with them one-on-one to get them going. And as far as next year for Dream Launch, we'll probably open up registration around the fall. Looking forward to partnering with the chamber again. And I think, are the Rev Up announcements, are those tomorrow night? Is that right?
No, I don't think so. They're going to be like the first week in June.
First week in June. Okay. So
well, yeah.
Be looking out for those.
Yeah, I know. It's like right around the corner. I'm like,
Is that a month away or a week?
Crazy.
So yeah, been great partnering with the chamber on that. I want to give Christy another shout out as well, because she's done an awesome job with the Rev Up program. And then just quickly want to give an update on our facade grant program. We're pretty much full at the moment, so we are on a wait list if anybody wants to submit applications for that. But we'll hope to, get funding each year and kind of keep adding to the budget. But just wanted to give that quick update on that facade grant program. And then
What does that cover?
it's all exterior work on your building if you're located in the River District. So window door replacement, painting, signage, kind of like permanent exterior additions, awnings, yeah. And if anybody wants an application, I can certainly email you it. And it's just, we're pretty close on the budget, so we're on the wait list at the moment.
Did that included patio upgrades too, didn't it, or did it?
It does if some of the permanent fixtures of the patio, yeah. So I don't think we could do like tables and chairs, but perhaps like some of the brick or cobblestone work or railing, things like that. But we can, if you apply and submit an application, we can kind of work with you and figure out the specifics of your projects. And then just finally, we have a new program that we're starting. This is part of our expansion work into the North Main community. So we're going up into the North Main corridor. And we have an event on June 28th. We're calling it the Startup Slam. So it's kind of like a poetry slam for businesses. So, so it'll be June 28th at the Lazy Bee at 6 o'clock. And essentially, you can apply to pitch a business idea that night. Get up on stage. You have 3 minutes. Pitch your business idea, and we are opening up slots for up to 15 people, and then there will be an audience as well. Whoever gets the most votes at the end of the night on their business idea gets to take home all the ticket proceeds from the event. So it's $10 a ticket. We're going to cap it at 100 people. If we get 100 people who come out, so you could. If your business idea gets the most votes, you could walk away with up to $1,000 potentially. And there's no obligation. You can spend it on whatever you want to. So it doesn't necessarily have to go to your business idea. But we're pretty excited about that. We're partnering with the Lazy Bee on that. So $10 will also get you kind of a small meal as well that night. And then we're hoping to make it a quarterly event so we can do it every 3 months. But June 28th, 6 o'clock. So if you want to register, you can email Alyssa or call our office, and you can register as an audience member or to pitch a business idea. So that's coming up in about a month, and that's it for my announcement. So I can turn over to you, Kirsten, for yours.
Great. I don't have a whole lot at the moment, but just real quick, I've been working on a new history tour in the district's app. About the architecture and buildings downtown. Of course, we can't cover everything, but it's got 10 stops highlighting some of the more significant buildings downtown. So that should be live tomorrow. So I will, of course, be sending out information about that. But it's pretty cool. It's lots of interesting stuff. So hopefully people will take that and enjoy it. The second thing is on June 2nd. It's a Thursday evening. Is a business appreciation day gathering, and it's from, I think it's 5 to 7. Kelvin can.
That's correct.
It's 5 to 7, and it's over at JTI Leaf, and I can send out the address and everything. There will be 2 speakers. Chelsea Jenkins, the Deputy Secretary of Commerce and Trade for the state. And then Dr. Jason Alkubi, who's the president and CEO of the Virginia Economic Development Partnership. So, and I believe Kelvin can correct me, but I believe there'll be some refreshments and some entertainment and speakers, and it's a great chance to network. And it's also just a thank you to everyone who does business in Danville, Pittsylvania County. And if you would like to attend that, you can RSVP to Kim Custer in the Economic Development Department. I can send out her email to you all about how to do that. Anything to add, Kelvin? Did I miss
But just real quick, a reminder, there's still funding available through the Bridge to Recovery Act. So kind of to your question, George, about support for patio, furniture or things like that, that may help with COVID relief or whatever. That funding will expire June 30th. So if you would go to our website, which is discoverdanville.com, go to the top of the page, click the COVID-19 link, and then scroll down to where you see Bridge to Recovery. So if any of the businesses are interested in updating the website or anything to improve the situation you may have with COVID, because we know that it appears that COVID is on the rise again. If you need to have deep cleaning or whatever, there is still funding available. So I'm encouraging everyone to apply to take advantage of that, because it will expire June 30th. So please go to the site. If you have any questions, I can send it to Kirsten and she can do a blast email and certainly send it to, well, Ann has it, or give it to Christy to make sure chamber members get that information as well. So we want to make sure we don't have to turn that money back in. So please apply.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you send that to me, I can make sure you all get the information about that. And those are the big things. Probably next time we gather, I'll amazingly enough be talking about Christmas. So
Oh
be
my
ready
God.
for that. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, but gotta do it to make it
I
happen.
know, I'm just
So,
kidding.
yeah, that's it from me. Does anyone else have any questions, comments? I do have one comment from a business owner after, if anyone else has anything, I can mention that afterwards.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Somebody else speaking. I just wanted to mention a couple of the events we have coming up here at Ballad. We have our 5-year anniversary party with live music from the League of Ordinary Gentlemen on June 4th. June 18th, we're doing a book fair with the Dog-Eared Page at 1 p.m. June 24th, we're doing our Pride Drag Show at 7:30 p.m. June 25th, we're having our annual Pride celebration. Finally, again, June 26th, we'll be doing brunch and beer mimosas at 12 with a special menu from Nana Karen's, as well as a Pride Paint and Sip with Artapalooza at 1. And we will also have our community gaming day that day with B&D Comics starting at 1. If anyone's ever interested in like meeting up with me to get some events happening here or collaborating, I would love to do that. We're also trying to get a River District Market event planned. I don't have all the details for that yet, but I'm working on interest flyers. So I'll probably be bringing those around town to different businesses soon. So be on the lookout for that.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and I will share all of those in our newsletter as well, so out to the world. Anybody else?
I have I guess a question or concern. Bees is in kind of what we consider to be the hub, the heart with the fountain and everything there, kind of parkish. So there is a lot of trash in the parking lot, in the shrubs around the building. I don't know. I know there's usually a fight over who takes care of that area, whether it's Parks and Rec or Public Works. But myself and my staff are out there regularly picking up the garbage in the bushes in the parking lot. I don't feel it's our job to take care of city property. When we have been told repeatedly it's not ours. So there's just not enough trash cans. I mean, when we come in on Tuesday, there's just trash all over the plaza, trash in parking lots. Yeah, I just don't know. We talked about it last month. More trash cans being available. It just, for what is supposed to be kind of the crown jewel of downtown, that it's not taken care of. is distressing. And I feel reflects badly on my business because visitors to town don't know that it's not our parking lot, our space.
Okay, well, I'll connect with you and we can try to figure out who is the best person to talk to. Because that is very important for the whole downtown, for that.
Yeah, I mean, the graffiti, the time that they graffitied the wall there on the side of Lou's, it took months for us to get that covered. If you're someone traveling in from out of town and you see graffiti on walls of businesses, just like, this isn't a safe place, this is, you know? So I just feel like it represents Danville poorly for it to look so trashy.
With the trash, do you think it is just a matter of more trash cans? Is that?
Well, I think it's laziness, but there are only 2 trash cans on the plaza, literally. There's one up toward Lou's and there's one on the other side of Jerry's. So there's none at the parking lot level on either down by the river or between us and Lou's. There's none, you know, around the benches, around the fountain. So there's just, I think part of it is laziness and lack of visibility for what is there when they're here and people are centered here around the fountain and the benches.
To the same point, outside Jessica's shop, there's a stone trash receptacle there. And I don't know if it's just the size of the trash receptacle or not knowing who's responsible. I mean, the day before our wedding, I was calling Public Works saying, look, do we need to empty this? You know, I think the landlord may be doing it some just so it doesn't look bad, but it's on a median strip. So I would imagine it's city property, but as we get more and more people coming to these areas, naturally, it's going to take more and more trash cans to facilitate that, or either that or a whole lot more maintenance. But some of them, you know, if you get a lot of people going in a building, you get 40 loft apartments and everybody drops 1 cup in there in a day, it's full every day, you know. So it's just, I don't know if it's like you say, the visibility or who's responsible or what, but that's a good point.
Thank you. Yeah, that is something I think we can probably help facilitate. So I'll connect with you guys and talk to Diana. Let's see. So Cheryl wasn't able to be here for Main Street Art Collective, but she wanted me to mention she had a concern about getting information in front of visitors from like at hotels and things, and there's some challenges with what hotels allow to be displayed in their lobbies. So I don't, and she said something about Danville needs to start considering itself a destination and how to change that. I will just mention so we do have a new tourism department in the city, and she is working on a lot of this she just started in October, so now is kind of just getting organized and figuring it out. But there are some things that they'll be working on to create that feeling of Danville as a destination and make sure that the information is in hotel and visitor center in different places locally and around the state. So I think we may bring her back to one of these meetings, like maybe in the fall when things are she's got a little bit more going on and can talk about some of the action steps they've already taken. So that might be a great, would that interest you all? Because when she came before, she had just started. So it was more like, this is what I'm planning, but there weren't things kind of in the works yet. So that could be an opportunity to kind of talk about that and hear what they're planning. And we'll be partnering with them on some things as well. But I just don't have details. So I just wanted to.
May I add one more thing?
Sure.
Do you mind? I failed to mention that membership dues for the chamber based on the number of full-time employees you have in Danville or Pittsylvania County. And if you have 0 to 5 employees, the membership dues are $290 for the year. But of course, if you join mid-year, everything's prorated. So I think that's very economical, but that's also one thing in the strategic plan we're gonna take a look at is our rate structure. But I just wanted to say that, so if anyone was interested in joining now, I think that becomes $163 or something like that until the end of the year. So there's opportunity there for you also to network.
Yeah. Do you still have the individual memberships?
Yes.
They're not a business.
Right. I think it's $80.
Is that a year?
Mhm.
Just a question also, I don't know if the topic's been brought up, but there has been a real influx of panhandling.
Good.
You know, like especially right there at the bridge. I mean, we're getting ready to go move into North Main area as well and try and revitalize that. And every time you go down Riverside Drive right there, if they're not out there, it's because they've just dove in the bushes because they saw a police car coming from the other end of the bridge. And I mean, maybe the people need help. There's a ton of jobs out there that we've talked about. We can't find people to hire, but I don't know how well that's painting the picture of our city that, it may, to some, it looks like we're not helping the people who need help. To some, it looks like, we're just letting anybody do whatever they choose to. And I think that's gonna, it just seems like it's getting worse. So I don't know if that's been anything that's been discussed, or I know this actual organization may not be able to do a lot about it other than to, put it in front of the right people that as a business owner, it's a concern.
Yeah, we see a lot of them down by the fountain, a lot.
Yeah, we've actually started seeing some, we don't see a bunch necessarily in our direction, Peanut. I don't know about you, but we, it's interesting you mentioned that because I hadn't thought about it, but we actually recently have had people come inside to ask, which we never had happened before. And like you said, it's like, you want to help them. And I don't think any of our customers ultimately are like, taken back by it, but yeah, it definitely has gotten a little more prevalent.
But that was a good point, yeah, and we can sort of hear about if that's, it feels like a problem in general, maybe it's something we can. I don't know, but I will make a note of it, we'll keep that in the radar. Not that we can do anything necessarily, but if we find somebody, talk to somebody who can.
Yes. Just
Yeah, go for it.
One quick comment. I mean, yeah, that's a difficult issue because I understand the business interest. And in my last job, I was a mental health case manager. So I was working with folks who are homeless and, with the substance use and the mental health. And so I understand, trying to help someone, but also someone's coming into your business and that, that's maybe not welcome in a way too. So I don't know. I don't have any answers. I'm just trying to help people see each other's sides and, approach it with a little bit of empathy as you can, but also set the boundaries you need to set for your business and just trying to work together as a community as well as we can to support each other. And if somebody's panhandling, they're going through something tough. So, that's just my only comment, not an answer, just kind of a comment that I know that there's interest to trying to work together on, but I don't know what the solution would be. So,
yes, thank you. That's a good point.
I guess my reason for bringing it up was that the RDA has a little more weight to be able to throw behind something like that, whether it be the chief booth, whether it be the social services or whoever it may be, to reach out and say, hey, why are these people here? Is it a need that they don't understand there's services for them, or is it that it's more profitable than working? There's a lot of reasons to be out there.
Yeah, agreed, Will, because this was pre-pandemic, but we used to have a guy that would come in every Friday and just sit and charge his cell phone. I don't think he ever tasted the first beer. I don't think he ever spent the first dollar here, but it was one of those where similarly and that's a unique situation. And I'm not trying to say, look at us, but it was, he wasn't a problem at that point. I think to Peanut's kind of point and what we're thinking along that line too is how can we help these people to make sure that it doesn't become a real prevalent issue that people start to comment on. I know there's people you can call, there's things you can do, but what we found, unfortunately, and it's nobody's fault, is that when we do make that phone call, or by the time they get down here, the person's, it just turns into so you're right. I've learned that this is the biggest double-edged sword we've had to even deal with, and it's on such a small scale, but it's a very hard thing, like you said, to keep the business interest in mind, but also kind of look out for the person.
Yeah. But I appreciate you bringing it up and talking about the issue, because that's, at least we can talk about it and think about what we can do.
Yeah.
Help each other.
If I can just make this point, the House of Hope has a new director recently, and I know from working with DPCS, they are overwhelmed. Every agency that works with people that are facing homelessness is overwhelmed, but there's possibly partnerships that can be made with the House of Hope and the Grace and Maine Ministries. I think it's ministries. Those two organizations are ones that could do possibly a partnership with businesses to get some people to work, and different things that we can collaborate on for sure. So that's something that we could all look into.
Thank you, Sierra. That's a great point too. Have any final comments?
Why'd you look at me?
What'd you say?
I said, why'd you look at me?
You just started.
I just started. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here today. We really appreciate it. If you get off and you have any other comments or thoughts, feel free to send it to Will or I. RSVP to Alyssa if you want to come to the startup slam. I will send out an email with some of the information that we talked about. Kelvin mentioned some of your programs going on, so that you all have that information. And yeah, anytime you have any thoughts, feel free to get in touch. We're here. We're always happy for a conversation. So we appreciate all of you being here, being in the River District and supporting the River District and all that good stuff. So thank you all very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks online people. Have a great day.
Please take a donut on the way out. We always end up eating all of that.
Just call me, Christy.